Hey, what's up my Dragon Legion? How y'all been? So the Dragoons, today we're going to be doing a CardFight Vanguard deck profile today of my current Narukami Eradicator deck profile. Now, deck is not really that different from the last time we've done deck profiles. There is a little bit slight changes, or they're partially weirder than the last time I've done the deck profile with this deck right here. Now, my last few deck profiles I've done with this deck in the past, I have always tried being like a little bit crazy of trying to do a mixture of giving myself overpowered big rear guards while still having the ability to just retire my opponent's rear guards. Now, the problem is with Eradicators is that unless you're playing the following Saber Reverse build, there's really not that many possibilities where you can really do that too oftenly until the stride mechanic really comes. But as of right now, so as of right now, the deck has kind of mellowed down on going for big power numbers. Like, it still can with cards like Gauntlet Buster Dragon, and every now and then using this guy's ability right here every now and then. But the deck is a little bit more of a control-based deck now. Now, it's, like I said, it still can hit big numbers every now and then, but it's more focused on retiring certain rear guards every now and then, and having of course, your idea Vanguard go for the win, all that such. So yeah, but again, there are some things that are kind of a little bit different. And once the stride mechanic becomes a thing, I might, if there is a way Eradicators can coexist with that deck, I might actually make some weird changes based upon what Eradicators got going on. Alright, so with that being said, let's get right straight to the deck profile right now. Shall we, Dragoons? Alright, start off with, of course, you're starting Vanguard, you're a Lelouch. I think when it comes to Eradicators, I don't think there's no explanation needed why this guy is so good. When he's boosting, he's a Forerunner, and if the attack that he's boosting is a hit, count last one, put him solo Vanguard, and retire a grade 1 or less rear guard. Get rid of that little starting Vanguards. Get rid of those other grade 1 rear guards you don't want to deal with. Yeah, Lelouch is just your answer to some of your opponent's annoying starting Vanguards that you don't want, or Forerunners that you don't want to deal with. Alright. Next up, for the trigger lineup, we have, of course, the 4 heal triggers. No explanation needed why this is important. And I think you Dragoons know what is about to come out for the rest of the trigger lineup. The 6 critical and the 6 draw line over here. No, be equally balanced of aggressive, still inflict the most damage as possibly can, while still being defensive and drawn to what I need drawn to the most. Like, I think I've explained this a lot so many times in all my videos, why almost my Vanguard deck profile videos, why I do what I do right here. But I'm just glad I was able to get that part off my chest for those who are new to this channel and don't understand my playstyle too well. But once stride mechanic becomes a thing, and Eradicators can coexist with the stride mechanic, I might try out the 7 critical and 5 draw lineup. I'm not really too sure. Well, let's see what happens in the future. And that's it for the trigger lineup. For the grade 1 lineup, we have, of course, your 4 perfect guards. No explanation needed why this is important right here. Next up, we have 4 copies of Eradicator Egg Glove and Draco Kid. A really nice, interesting card for Eradicators, or not only Eradicators, but in Narukami in general. As long as he's on your rearguard field, your Vanguard can use his limit break ability without waiting until your damage is 4 or more. So there's a lot of Eradicators, obviously, who are very reliant on using your Vanguard as fast as possibly can, so you can do as much damage as possibly can. So this helps you out with your big combos. Definitely very good, because your opponent will be a little bit hesitant when they know you're playing a limit break based deck. So they're going to be a little bit hesitant. They're going to avoid it. They're going to sometimes play cautiously and avoid not hitting you really too well. This guy makes your opponent pay for it by just bringing this guy out and just right into a good grade 3 Vanguard in particular. And you could just have fun doing what you do and make your opponent regret for not doing as much damage as you possibly can. Next up, we play 4 copies of Deadly Eradicator Yahoo. Sorry if I got his name wrong. self-explanatory. When you ride into a Grade 3 Vanguard, Eradicator, be more specific, you can put him solo Vanguard. If you do, choose one opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. Now, very great card right here. It does help you with one of your key plays you're trying to do. It kind of speeds up what you're trying to do when it comes to retirement every now and then. It's a decent booster, even if you don't get the ability of. And with the right, and depending on what your playstyle is and what you're trying to do with your Eradicators, you could actually do some nice, interesting push plays and do some odd every here and there that you could definitely have fun with your opponent. So yeah. And next up, 2 copies of the only non-Eradicator going to be playing this deck right here, and that is 2 copies of Rising Phoenix. Nothing really too special. Soul Blast 2, draw a card. Great stuff with decks like this. Just for that. And that's it for the Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 2 lineup, nothing really too special. 4 copies of Spark Rain Dragon, your 12k special attacker for this deck right here. 4 Chahos, just like Deadly Eradicator. He does allow you to speed up with one of your plays, what you're trying to do. When you call in the rearguard circle, I think it's just Vanguard or rearguard circle. When he's put in Vanguard or rearguard circle, if you happen to have an extra Eradicator on the field with you that you're willing to part off with, just play him in the field, put that Eradicator in solo Vanguard, and boom, you just pop out one of your opponent's rearguards right out the back. And it's really nice because it doesn't require counterblasting. And your counterblasting is for, of course, your grade 3s Vanguards, while also your Chao. So this helps you with what you're trying to do really good. It allows you to still be aggressive and kill off your opponent's rear guards as much as you can, while still reserving your counterblast, so you can reserve them for your grade 3 Vanguards. And to finish all the entire deck, the grade 2 lineup, 2 copies of Thunder Boom Dragon, just typical good grade 2 10-game vanillas for when you need them to do your things for them. Nothing really too special. He does what he does, and you can just go for big numbers. You won't go for really huge numbers, but numbers are not that far away from Eradicators, and they can just reach some good decent stuff here and there. And that is it for the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 3 lineup. Now the grade 3 lineup is actually kind of very odd compared to how I normally done my grade 3s in the past. Let's get these 2 guys. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Now let's get these two guys out of the way real quick. For your grade 3s, we're playing 1 copy of each of these guys right here. Gauntlet Buster Dragon and Temis Bull Dragon right here. Now, I like playing these guys right here, right now at the moment, because the deck, while the deck is a little bit more reliant on Ignition Dragon and Dragon Descendant, just having these guys around when your opponent least expects them is always very great, interesting, and gives you the huge element of surprise to get your opponent right here. Now, if you lose these guys in your damage or whatever such, it's not the end of the world. Your deck can still do just fine as long as you got Ignition and Descendant, or at least just Descendant around, so you still should be in good hands right here. But I like playing one of these guys right here because the deck is a little bit more, as I said, reliant on Descendant and Ignition Dragon. So, but these guys right here on their own can definitely help with what your deck is. Now then, they just allow you just power creep out of nowhere. Gauntlet Buster Dragon, as I mentioned in the past, he's a really great card for decks like this, especially with the right combos. If you ride him on top of Ignition Dragon while you have Egglum on the field on your board, he just allows you can just run out the back, kill out 2 of your opponent's rear guards, and then thanks to break right, etc. Such, this guy can be swinging out with big numbers for a total of 21, 24, 27 power with 3 critical. That's not even counting what other rear guards you want to retire if you do so. That's not even counting who's boosting him when he attacks, and that's not even counting what you get in your twin drive check when you go off with him and such. So here's a really great card. Only one of him is because now and then with the way how Vanguard is right now at the moment, he can be a little bit reliant on Gauntlet Buster or Ignition Dragon. Like, you can still do some great things without Ignition Dragon, and he can still do some great things with you. And his second ability can go off without waiting till your damage is 4 or more. So either way, he's still good with or without Ignition Dragon, and he can still allow you he can still allow you to hit big numbers every now and then, do some decent retirement to your opponent every now and then. But he is but other than that, with the way how Vanguard is right now at the moment, he is kind of reliant on Ignition Dragon, where Descendant can just do some great things on his own without this Ignition Dragon. So that's why I'm only playing one Gauntlet plus Dragon right now at the moment. And Tempest Bolt Dragon, I like him as a kind of a last resort card in case things don't go my right way. Limit Break 4, Counter Blast 3 Eradicators, retire all rear guards on the entire field, and whenever he swings, he can also go for big numbers as well. And especially when you go out with a Break Ride and such. Like one thing I like to do with this guy right here is I'll Break Ride him on top of Ignition Dragon. I won't use his ability till next turn. He'll swing with big numbers right there. At the next turn, if I don't ride or whatever, I can just go off with his ability, Counter Blast 3, make your opponent pay for getting too cocky of calling their rear guards after you're done with the Break Ride. And this guy can also swing with big numbers as well, while still giving you access to retire a lot of your opponent's rear guards as well. Now, one thing you gotta be cautious with Tempest Bolt Dragon, which will explain why I'm only playing one of him right now at the moment. The one thing about Tempest Bolt Dragon, I think a lot of people already know this by now, but for those who do not know, Tempest Bolt Dragon has that ability where when you go off his Limit Break ability, all rear guards are retired. So not only he'll retire your opponent's rear guards, he'll also retire your rear guards. So there's a lot of cautious plays you're going to do. Like, true, yes, you can always just reserve your guys and wait till you play your extra guys after you go off with his Limit Break ability. But at the same time, there are those tight situations where you're forced to call off some rear guards before you go off his Limit Break ability, and when that happens, he'll end up killing off your rear guards. So you have to play a little bit cautious of how you want to play your Tempest Bolt Dragon when you're going in tough situations like this. So yeah, that's what's going on here. One of each of those guys. And then next up, we had 3 copies of Eradicator Ignition Dragon. A really great card right here. Limit Break 4, Break Ride. When Narukami rides the top of this unit, Counter Blast 1, your opponent chooses 2 rear guards of his or her choice to be retired. Now, combos off with, as I mentioned, Gauntlet Bust Dragon very well. It's okay with Tempest Bolt Dragon. Like, Tempest Bolt Dragon, it does give you access to reserve your Tempest Bolt Dragon's Limit Break ability until next turn. Like, ride Tempest on top of him, then after your 2 rear guards are retired, go with what you got right now at the moment, and then next turn, when you know his job is done and your opponent's getting a little cocky and bring out more rear guards, you can just make him pay for it with Tempest Bolt Dragon. And definitely a very great card with a great combo with Descendant. Now, Descendant does not need Ignition Dragon. He can still do some great things without Ignition Dragon. So, but if you do Break Ride Descendant on top of Ignition Dragon, you are going to have lots of fun with this guy right here. Like, Descendant without using his ability, swinging with 21 power, and potentially doing that twice, maybe potentially get 2 twin drives, is always very appreciative, and something that your opponent does not want to underestimate when they see combos and plays done like this such. So Ignition Dragon, not a guy you want to underestimate, and once it gets rolling right, he can do some huge brutal things to your opponent's base. And of course, no Eradicator deck would be complete without, of course, your idea boss card of the entire deck. 3 copies of Draconic Descendant. Now, Draconic Descendant, probably the best grade 3 Eradicator right now at the moment. If his attack is not a hit, you can use Limit Break 4 ability, pitch 3 Eradicators, and Counter Blast 1 card, stand right one more time with 1 more critical, and just attack twice per game and such. And not only that, then your opponent will, once you first drop this guy, your opponent will be forced to read this guy. And once they read this guy out, they'll be forced to do one of 2 things. Either A, they'll have to waste some good resources or perfect guards in order to block off both of his attacks, or B, they'll be forced to let his first attack be hit, just so they don't have to deal with having the Limit Break ability, because the ability where this guy can just stand right back up after his attack is a hit, or I'm sorry, not a hit, and he swings again with only with additional critical, is just something that just puts a lot of pressure down your opponent, especially when you break right on top of Ignition Dragon. Like, his first attack is 2100, and let's say for example your opponent gets cocky, block out the first attack, and your twin drives whatever, use his ability, pitch your 3 Eradicators, Counter Blast 1, stand right back up with 21 power again, and this time with additional critical. And that's not even counting who's boosting him and what you get in any of your two twin drives. So a really great card, and just something that I don't think your opponent should ever underestimate, especially when you get the right combos going off every now and then. So yeah, that is what it is. And alright there, Dragoons, that right there was my current Eradicator Narukami deck profile right now at the moment. There are some changes I'm definitely going to be doing. I'm waiting until Stride becomes a thing before I make the necessary changes this deck needs. But all in all, as where the deck stands right now at the moment, it can definitely still be a fun deck, and you can still make a lot of cool plays with Eradicators, even without making this type of specific build. So especially if you're one of those players who likes to play the straight out Tempest Bolt Dragon. So next Narukami Eradicator deck profile, I'll definitely do a deck profile of Tempest Bolt Dragon, the straight up profile of utilizing this guy, etc. such. And yeah, either way, depending on what your playstyle of Eradicators are, as long as you kind of let the basic mechanics going on, this Eradicators can still hold their own, even with some of the huge new cards coming out, etc. such. So we're going to end the video right here with, of course, the big daddy of all Eradicators. And with that being said, let me know what Dragoons think about this deck profile in the comment section down below. And I'll see you Dragoons around. Hope you Dragoons enjoys the video. Please leave a like and a favorite if you did, and share this video with other people. It all really helps me out a lot. Subscribe today to become part of the Dragon Legion Alliance. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll see you Dragoons another day. Christian Dragoon, signing out. Peace.